Hi, everyone, to this amazing podcast named Code, Content, and Community Daily Life in DevRel. And today we have with us our amazing guest, Saurav Jain. Hi, Saurav, how are you?
Good. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm also doing good. So, guys, Saurav is like really amazing in community, open source, and developer relations space. You might have known him in the past, and if you don't know, you're missing a lot. So, do check about him. He previously worked as a community manager at Application and currently working at Apify as a senior developer community manager. So, in this podcast, we'll be learning a lot about his experiences, about his journey, and let's see. In the end, till the end, you'll be getting a lot of insights about developer relations, community content, and a lot of cool things about Apify, open source, and stuff. So yeah. So hi Saurabh, from where you're joining, we would love to know more about you.
Hey everyone. I'm Saurav, and I'm joining from New Delhi, India right now. And yeah, as you told, I am quite active in the DevRel and community from last 7 years or so. I've been building communities since my college time. I used to be the GitHub campus expert, Google developers group lead, and etc. etc. All the things that you can imagine. And after that, yeah, I started doing some development for an year or so. I used to do scraping. I used to help a lot of NGOs in order to get data from internet. Also, I used to be a volunteer in one of the political parties, and I helped them a lot in doing stuff. And after that, I started feeling like I don't think I can sit the whole day in front of a computer and do things. So I need to change a career a bit, and started building a lot of Python content on Twitter, and starting being very active in open source community, and started contributing to some open source projects. I think back in the day in 2021, I found a really interesting project at that time before AI, Node.js backend generator. So it was cool before AI that it can generate the whole Node.js backend for enterprise teams. And I joined their community. There were no one, nearly no one, but few people, like 300 people in the community, trying to figure out the product. The open source project was in beta phase, so it wasn't really developed, but it was interesting. So I used to just help people out, like that, help people out in the community to use the product because it was quite buggy at that time, and to pass feedback into the team in the Discord server. I also used to. I remember I created some article. Wrote some article for them, a demo, and it worked really well. And I think the founders noticed that, and they reached out to me. They raised some seed round, and they offered me the community management role in their company, and I joined there. So it was my first full time job as a DevRel, and yeah, it was quite nice. We scaled a bit. But then AI arrived, and the startup couldn't really survive the wave. And at the same time, I found Apify. And if you remember, like I was doing a lot of web scraping back in the days when I was a developer. So I really had a lot of experience. And Apify at that time was at a point that they really needed to grow the community. So Abify, for those who don't know, is just a marketplace for any kind of software, mostly web scrapers. So softwares that gets you data from internet. It can be AI agents, web scrapers, automation tools, or any such tool, MCP servers even. So which can get you data from internet. So at that time, the community was not very big, and we were paying around $50,000 every month, if I remember correctly. Uh, Last month we paid out $1.5 million to the community, so the community have grown a lot, and it is a marketplace, so anybody can build these softwares, publish on platform, and set a price tag on it, while we have this platform where they can run the software as well. So yeah, so the whole process of growing and scaling the community, to managing it, to disciplining it, to do the events, to launch many programs inside the community, uh, it's been a nice journey, and it's a lot of things that we have done over the years, and it's quite nice.
Well, that's really amazing to know, Saurav, like from being a student and you've been a part of a lot of programs in which generally students aspire to be in, like GitHub Campus Expert, and there are a lot of things. And then you also got remote opportunity as you shared. So that's really amazing to know. But talking to a point, suppose back then the AI was not that much into hype, and nowadays even after AI, a lot of things are changing. Even the companies requirement from developer professionals, and the budget that they are allocating to communities, and then nowadays the articles and people tend to write everything from AI. So these days even I'm seeing most of the LinkedIn posts generated from AI, and a lot of AI slop is there. But still, like the era has changed a lot. And since you have really good experience, you have seen the decade, you've seen the time when these things are just emerging, you have contributed to various communities open source projects, right? So you are also a developer yourself, have experience in web scraping. So suppose if someone wanted to enter DevRel today, what would you tell them to start doing tomorrow? Because the times are really changing, and maybe who knows, after 1 year, the landscape will entirely change as the speed that we are seeing today.
Yeah, it's a very wide question, to be honest. So I'll take it in few parts maybe. So the first thing is, DevRel is not for everyone. I maybe many people will hate me for it, but first I think you have a lot of things to figure out. What do you like to do in life, in your career, in your stuff? Do you really like talking with developers? Do you really are you really into it? Are you really okay with solving issues of developer regarding some product that they are going to use? Are you really okay to understand their problems and needs and to take it to the team internally and to make it happen? Are you really okay that if the company is going to launch something, you have to build some demos on the top of it, and then you have to take it to the community and take feedback from it? And it can get really heated sometimes when community
Yes.
don't like. You're going to like when there is some change in the product that destroys community completely, but you have to navigate the community through it. So there is a lot of things, and as the name suggests of this webinar, this podcast, it is code, content, and community. So we usually divide the DevRel work in three parts, which is code, content, and community. So the first part is so your job can lie in any three of this, or all three of this, or any two of this. So it's up to the company, or up to the department, or up to the functionary of the company to decide if the job where the job will rely. Many companies just hire one person who do all of the jobs. For example, when I was hired in Apify, I was supposed to do all three of them, and I was the first person, and I was the only DevRel in the company. But with time, the role grows, and with time, the requirement changes, and with time, the team grows. So when the team grows, the role becomes more specific, and you might not have to do all of the things. So it's up to you first of all to decide what you want to do out of all of three. If you really thinks all of the things that I just said is okay to do. If you really like to code and you want to code something in order, if you want to code something in order to make things happen that is related to the community. So the job basically will be to understand the problems of the community, to use the product every day, and to make things happen that are missing in the product. And that will be your definition of DevRel. Or to build some demos on the top of it, to code some demos, which will not be exactly engineering, but you're still coding. So this is one thing, the coding part. The second part will be the content part. The content part is basically demos. It will be talks, it will be blogs, it will be PRs of some kind. It will be it will be talking to the community. It will be Discord post, it will be social media posts as well. It can be many things. And you in the content part, I think it's also something that not many people cover, is that you still are the brain for marketing inside your company. So if you have a marketing team inside the company, they need some developer brain, and usually DevRel becomes the developer brain for the for the marketing. So you will review all of the content, you will work with them in order to make product marketing content happen, or product content happen, what messaging it should be, or what messaging they should not go with. So there are so many things that in the content that you can cover. And then, yeah, talking with the community, helping them to do things. Then the third, code content and community. Then the community part. Community is like, community can be offline, community can be online. Events comes under community. So either you are managing an online community, you are generating program for them in order to make sure that they are engaged, they are successful in what they are trying to do, and you are always pushing them for the next task. So for example, right now, in Appify, I'm running Appify writing program, Appify content program actually. So which is basically, we want more and more community people in Appify to write about what they're building using Appify. And in order to encourage that, we have launched this program where every quarter we launch a theme of technical writing regarding some Appify feature, and the community writes about it. And we select around 15 to 20 articles every quarter, and we pay them $500 each. Rest of the articles goes on dev.to, where they publish it and they get some Amplify credits out of it. So things like this, which makes community more encouraged, more motivated to do things in order to push some KPIs of your company. So
Yes.
you have to be creative, and you have to think about it, while you have to also think that you are solving some problem inside the community. So in our sense, people want to write content, but they are not getting anything in return, and they want to do it. So it's like a mix of things that we generate, and we make community more motivated. Then you have webinars. Then you have guest appearances, like this thing. Like Manik is running some community, and I'm being part of it. This is one of the examples, and you will do a lot inside the community that you are building. Then there are offline communities where you do hackathons, where you do meetups, where you do conferences, where you do a lot of events like this. So all of this together comes community, and like, this is very, like, sometimes the role is very gray. Most of the times it's gray. It's not just one thing. You usually lie with you usually have crossovers across different seas. But yeah, in basic, this is what it is. So figure out what you like, to the question that how they can start. Figure out what do you like and start doing it. And you don't have to have a job while doing it. So for example, I'll just give my example. Before getting the actual job, I was already being part of a community. I was already writing some technical articles. I already have done some events. So it's nobody's stopping you in this. You can just start your own community about something, and you can write about some product that you like. You can write about something. You can make some videos about something like. And trust me, like, I've been on the hiring part of things, and I've hired few people over the time now in DevRel, and so far all of the hires have had some public use case, like they have written some use cases, or they have recorded some videos, or they have chatted over with other folks in the community,
Yeah.
and they all have public proofs of work. So this really matters a lot, and I would never hire someone who is just writing a CV of things and have no public proof of work. It's really very important. So start generating that and then applying for job, or you'll, by default, if you are doing a really good job, you'll get job offers, I'm pretty sure.
Indeed, a lot of cool things and valuable things, Saurav, you have covered. And we know that under community and developer relations, a lot of things cover majorly these three pillars: code, content, and community. And you covered it really well. Like Saurav, as you yourself is in community and developer relation space for a long time and working in a very good company which is scaling. So how do you decide that you should delegate your time? Because there is at one time there is code, you have to code, you have to record your demo videos. At another time, you also have to engage with communities. You have to do something for them, right? And at another time, you also have to generate contents. How do you divide your time? That in this week I'll be doing only code, or like how do you balance things?
So right now, I think things are much better for me. While I have a team of few people, and all of us are working on things, so I can just do something very focusedly. But like, for most of the time in Abify, I've been a single contributor in the DevRel team of Abify, and it was tough. It is really tough when you're working in a company where the community is really active. You just have to set your priorities right straight. You cannot do everything, and you have your priorities. You have your current KPIs. You have your current goals. So like I always say in my career, I have said it in all of the interviews that I've ever done, that I anything that I do for some reason. And this should be our motto every time. Before just touching any topic or before just getting into it, just decide like these are my 5 goals that I need to achieve by the end of the year or by the end of the month or like in next 3 months, and then just decide what you need to do on the basis of it. Then eventually you will figure out that there are 4 or 5 things that are very important right now and I cannot skip it. This is critical for me, so you just do those things and you just skip rest of the things. In community, you can, if you are a single person in a team and you have community code content on you cannot skip community. Community is inevitable. You have to talk with them, you have to be there for them, you have to make sure they are happy, you have to make sure they are listened, you have to make sure the feedback is passed on. It's something that is non-negotiable, I think. And there will be times when you are cannot be that active, and it's okay, but most of the times you have to be active enough. Then you have content, which is again important. So again, it will narrow down to the KPIs and the priorities that you set
Yeah.
for yourself and your team. And then you can decide that, okay, in a week I'll do this more and this less and this even less, and it will completely shuffle the next week.
It just happens. Yeah, can understand. A lot of cool things to do. I'm managing a lot of things. But when we lead communities, sort of, there is like a lot of people tend to join. There are a lot of members, but most of them are observers. So there are a lot of people and a lot of strategies out there where we move people or the members of our community from being an observer to participant to contributor and then actually being an advocate of the product, right? Because that could be the motto of all the companies where the members are actually advocating about the product in a positive way. So what strategy or how you make them from an observer to an advocate of the product?
Yeah, that's a really nice question. So I'll give you again example of Happify community because this is, I think I've done a lot about this in there.
Yes,
Uh,
would love to hear.
One example. So when I was joining Happify in the interviews, one of our Happify head of store asked me, all of these developers who are in our community are competitors to each another. So because they are in a marketplace, they are fighting with one among in order to get the customers, right?
Yes.
Like any business. So why would they be in a community where they will help each other? So it's like she was very confused by the idea that people can help each other while being competitors. But I said, like, in the end, they are also facing same problems, they are also facing the same issues, they also have the same goals. They want to just earn more money. So if they are, that's the definition of community, right? Like if we share some same pain and if we have some shared goals, we can create a community out of it. So that was my answer to it. But when I joined, they were really not talkative. There were not many people in the community who were talkative, and slowly, it's a very slow process. You cannot expect like someone to be active in 1 month or 2 months, but and you don't have to force them. This is like clear no from my side that you just make them talk. But it's more about doing things that really helps them. So initially in my time at Apify, I was just so much active in Discord that if somebody posts a problem, I would make sure they are listened. They are never in the last of the queue, and I'm there in the last. And I started doing some calls with them to understand their problems and understand their pains. So I figured out like there are like 20 members in the community who have more potential of being active, and I started doing calls with them, one-on-one calls, and it was a lot because there were 20 of them. But I started doing that and I started listening to their problems, that and I assured them in the call that things are changing and I am here to help you, and I will be here to help you for a longer time, and we will make it just better from now and on. That really build a one-on-one relation with the community, and at least with few members. Then slowly out, you I saw them posting more and more problems, and as I said, like it was not hollow promises. We started to help them in the community, and by receiving some help, by sharing their pain, when it started to showing up that okay, Apify is really listening to us and they really want to help us, they started being more vocal. Then I started doing some office hours out of it, where all of those 20 members will join. We will be in the office hour and they'll talk with each other. by looking at those 20 members, more and more people started joining those office hours. And then we started launching out some programs, like small programs where we will ask for bugs in the product or feature requests in the product. And I started randomly rewarding community members in the community just for being active, to showcase that we really appreciate you being active. And then we started rewarding slowly the people who are active in the community by giving them some more nice store position, for example, or to give them some more discount on their commission. We started slowly launching out the features in the Apify store that are upcoming as a beta access to all of those people who are active in the community. So they clearly started seeing out the value of just being active in the community. Until now, in Apify community, if somebody is active, they always get some benefit out of it, and they are always on the top of list when we are doing do. For example, we do Creators Day, where we invite creators from all over the world for a 1 day or two, or for 2 3 days in Prague or wherever we do. We are planning one in India, we are planning one in Africa, we are planning one in Southeast Asia, for example, and we fly out from different countries, and usually all of them are active in Discord, and they see these benefits, and it's not just trying to make them talk in the Discord, but it's also like they are getting so many benefits out of it that they just want to be more active, and then they help each other. Like the whole point of our building our community was to make it self-sustainable, so people can talk with each other, people can help each other. And as I'm talking, there are 4 or 5 people in Apify community talking from 3 hours and solving each other problem and talking about life in
Wow.
general. So it's always this case in our community. They really like to spend time, and it works. We don't have to force them to do this. So it's just like how you build out your community. You help them. You make sure they are listened. You don't make hollow promises. You do things for them. You make programs that helps them recognize the benefits. You reward them for being active, and slowly you'll see like more and more people being active and just joining the culture of it. So it's more about building the culture of the community.
Got it. So indeed, you built a culture at Apify over your time in Apify. That's really good to know, because like you're being here and just hearing that there are some of the people active in Discord, people Discord supporting the new community members. It's really amazing to know. Of course, it's not easy. Sort of from my experience, I can say that it's not easy and it's a slow, gradual process. But once after a certain point, we have more advocates from observer. They have become the advocates, and now they are actively contributing. And it's really good to know, Saurav, since you have a lot of experience in building community from very less members to a huge community, and you have also run a lot of programs. So sort of like a lot of people boasts about their achievements and all, and it's really amazing to know their experiences. So as you have a lot of experience, we would love to know from your experience that what are the challenges, failures, or difficult situation you have faced, because the real value, the real lesson which I feel and which maybe most of the people feel is hidden in the challenges, failures, obstacles, difficult situations that we face through our experience, whatever work we do. So from that aspect, if you want to give us some real examples, if you want to share and can share what you learned out of it, so that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I think I can share a few things, but I'll start with being more personal here. I think nobody much talk about it, but community definitely can bring some burnout to you
Yes.
as a community manager or as a person in DevRel. It looks like a very fancy job or something, but like at times community can get on the top of your head. So it can give you'll spend a lot of time, because when you manage a global community, it also come up with a cons that many of the members will be from completely opposite time zone as yours. So
Yes.
it is active 24 hours 7, 24 by 7 hours. So when you are in the community as the leader, you get messages all around the clock. And uh, initially, when you are new to this job, you try to answer all of them at all times, and you try to be better at it. And slowly, gradually, you will start feeling the burnout, and at some point you'll get burnout. So I strongly recommend all the folks out there to have some boundaries. And if you are managing a community, you don't have to be 24 hours active. I learned it hard way. So it's one of the learnings that I got, that no, create some boundaries. Unless until it's an emergency or somebody is dying, it's okay to move it on to the next day. It's not about if you're doing something or not. It's just mostly about your mental peace that gets a little disturbed when you are handling this job. Having said that, there are many other challenges in the community while handling the community. So it can be like, for example, I'll give you one of the examples, and it is about one of the migrations that we are doing inside the community right now. So Appify softwares historically have been rentals where people just rent out the software for a month and pay out for it. But we have introduced many of the other payment options, other pricing options, which is like now users can pay per event, which is like they just pay per result, any result that they got. So the developers had their actors in the other form, which is the renters form, and now from a year we are trying to migrate them to the new thing, and it's now about to the D-Day is coming. Next month is the last month where they can migrate to the option. Otherwise, we have to delete the actor. During that time, it's so tough because it's not ideal. But like, yeah, you as a business have to make some business decisions, and you have to figure out how to convey it to the community. Initially, you talk to them, you listen to their feedback, and you make sure that whatever they need in order to make this happen happens, and you try to provide them all of the tools. You communicate it well in advance. You give them enough deadline. You talk with them all through the process, so it is very, very, very well communicated and very well discussed with the community. You have to support them with all the tools that you have, all the resources that you have, all the content that you have, all the people that you have around you in the company who can offer their help to volunteer in for this migration. So it still is not a good experience because you will see many people get really, really angry about it and really, really sad about it. And but like this is something that you have to do as a business decision, and to the bigger good of the whole community. And you have to be the front leader in this whole process by giving them the path and understanding their problems. And the community manager job is not just our person in DevRel job is not just a job that is like we are answerable to the both of the sides. We are answerable to the community and we are answerable to the company as well. So you have to manage both of the sides really well. You have to communicate from the both of sides really well, so both of the sides are satisfied, and both of the sides are happy with the decisions that you are making. So sometimes it sucks, like the migration in any kind of thing in any community is a tough time, but I think it can be really well communicated, and if you make community understand well in advance that the benefits of it and everything around it, all the programs that you run around it, all the rewards that they are giving to them, and all of the hard work they are doing by helping them in it, I think it goes nicely. But it's really hard time. One of the things, other things can be fraud in community. So recently we have seen a lot of fraud inside the Appify community, which not a lot of it, but like a substantial amount of fraud that is upcoming, and people are trying to game the system in order to get some money out of Appify. So at these times you have to make some hard decisions, and while building a community which is very happy, very jolly, a community where people help each other, sometimes there will be folks who will try to over game the system and try to use your niceness in a way that can harm the whole bigger picture of the community. So you need to make sure that at those times, you as a community lead make a decision that is strict enough and send some message in the community that, yeah, we are helpful, but we also notice the wrongdoings and we are not going to tolerate it. It really, really is important at times, and you have to make the decision, even how sad it is to ban someone from the community, but you have to ban people in order to make your community even healthier. So while building a safe space for everyone, while making sure that the people who are making good contributions, their contributions are not wasted, you have to do this. So sometimes like things are tough, but I think it's all about communication. So if you communicate it well in advance, if you provide them well resources, all of the resources in advance, and you help them all the way, it is going to be okay.
Indeed, migration is not easy. Communication is the key, because if there at any point of time, if there is miscommunication, that thing can escalate to like the consequences can be far worse. And like being a person, since you nurtured the community from like very few to a large scale, so community is like a baby. You genuinely care about the community, how it moves, and when someone try to disrupt the, as you said, that jolly and safe space, then it really hurts. And yeah, we have to take some measures to make it a healthy one, right? And since Saurav, you have participated, I see usually you participate in a lot of great events happening across the world, PyCons these days, and recently you participated in PyCon Indonesia as well. And so we would love to know, yeah, around that, what was your first PyCon experience? Starting from there, you participated in a lot of PyCons. How PyCon usually looks like, representing Apify at different stages, different cultures, because each country have their own culture, right? Your experiences particularly, and how, if anyone wants to be a speaker at PyCon, then what would be the way? Would you like to spill some beans?
Yeah, so I think the PyCon thing comes before, even before Apify or anything. I think it's just I love Python, and well, I was a college student. I really had a hard time learning C++ or C, and then Python came to rescue, and I really learned the programming and coding everything through Python. And while it was not so common at that time, not many people were learning Python. Everybody used to do competitive programming in C, C++. I chose Python, and I really loved it, and I started creating a lot of content and everything around it. So I think Python, and then web scraping in Python and everything, automation in Python. So I think Python gave me a lot of things in life, and I am really, really thankful for the programming language in itself from day one. So this is how my love for Python started in general. And then, like when I was a student, I used to see that there is a conference that is named PyCon. Happen It happens in US every year. At that time, it was mostly US, and it was quite big. And I really, really wish that I will go to one PyCon one day. And my event journey started back in application, and I applied for PyCon Italy 2023 for a grant as a speaker. And while my first international conference was Open Source Summit Ireland, but I was just an attendee. I started doing public speaking in the same year in 2022, but I was limiting it to India, and I didn't go out much. But in 2023, I got selected as a speaker in PyCon Italy, and they gave me a grant so I can attend the conference. And that was my first ever international event as a speaker and PyCon, where I met a lot of good folks, and I saw how amazing a community can be, how inclusive they can be, and how much they can make me feel good as a first timer. And I spoke at the stage, and everybody was hooting, and this really supported me a lot. And that day, like, I was really, really feeling that I need to do this more. Slowly out, I was at application that time, and application was a Node.js product, not Python. So it didn't make much sense to go to Python events. And but then I found Apify, and I joined Apify. And my first major project was to launch an open source library that we were working on. It was Crawley, and Crawley used to be mostly in JavaScript until that time, but TypeScript. But like my first project was to launch Crawley for Python, and that was my first event for Apify. And we went to Europe Python 2024, happening in Prague. We did this conference. It was a major success for all of us. We got 1,000 stars in a few days in Crawley for Python, and that gave us a really good ROI. And the audience that comes from Python is mostly into web scraping and AI by default, which matches us exactly. So it's like business match for Apify, and as well as it's just something that I feel like I am being part of something, giving back to the community, giving back to the Python community. So until now, I think I have done 2 dozen PyCons all over the world. I have done many in Asia. I have done many in Europe. I have done many in Africa. Two in US, and so far it's been amazing journey. I've met so many great people across the globe. I think I know a lot of folks now in PyCon community. It's typical PyCon is very inclusive. Nobody will make you feel bad. There is a strict code of conduct for everything. There is even a Pac-Man rule in a PyCon where it is Pac-Man rule says never stand in a group, in a closed group. So you always leave space in a group, in a circle when you are standing in the conference, so anybody can join you and just be part of the group while you are talking with each other. So that's how the mindset is of a PyCon community. Like you have to include everyone. There will be amazing speakers from all over the world coming. If you are lucky enough, you'll even see Guido. He's the creator of Python. I met him in one of the PyCons, and oh man, it was just an amazing experience. I saw him for the first time in a book while I was learning Python, and I never knew that I can see him in person and talk with him. So I went to North Bay Python in California in Petaluma, and he was there. And after my talk, he came to me and he started talking, and we talked for nearly 45 minutes. And then he offered me a selfie, and we got a selfie together. It was one of the nicest days of my career. So it is pretty nice. If you are a speaker, if you are in Python, I think PyCons are one of the conferences which wholeheartedly welcomes first-time speakers. So just go to the PyCon website and submit a proposal. And PyCon is in most of the countries you can think of. So just go to that country, see when they are launching the conference, and you can submit it in 2 or 3 months before the conference, and just submit it. Apply for a grant if needed. And if your company can sponsor any PyCon, please, and I strongly recommend it. Apify found it really nice in terms of ROI as well. You'll find amazing audience, amazing developers all over the globe in PyCons. It's not big conferences where people sell anything. So you'll be part of a nicer community where community appreciates your presence, and not another company in 100 sponsors conference. So you will make a change in the local community, and they will appreciate it a lot. So yeah, just submit the topic, and they select it. And if you are selected, they invite you to the conference. Usually they don't have much money for a lot of travel budget, but they try their best to support speakers coming from different part of the world to give them some grants as well.
Wonderful. So you met the creator of Python himself. Wow, what's like? It's really amazing to know, Saurav, that you've met the guy whom you used to see in the books while being in college. And it was like, as you're sharing your experience, I can visualize it, setting you as the main character. That was really amazing. And so nice to hear that you've spoken at a lot of PyCons. So sort of as you work with content, code, community, and what I feel is that sometimes it becomes hard to convey to the business teams or to the stakeholders of the company that community actually drives value, so that they can give us more fund, so that we can support community in a better way. So you have so you face such kind of issue in your company, or like if not, but still a lot of companies still thinks before investing much in the community space. So what do you have in place? How should the community team convince the business teams or like the stakeholders that community work actually drives value to the business?
Yeah, so I always say this community is not meant for every product ever. So don't force it. If it has to make sense in business, only then the community teams can survive. For example, in Apify, community generates direct value, direct revenue to the product, because these developers are on the supply side of the marketplace, and they are creating something which is used by some users, and they generate money, and Apify takes out the commission out of it. So this is clear supply side of the product, and it really is. Like even in the one pager of 5 year strategy, community is one of the three pillars of the company. So it's very integral part of it. And you have to figure out according to the business if it makes sense or not. And then you have to decide some KPIs on the top of it. Even if it makes sense, it's just nothing if you don't have the correct KPIs. So you have to decide what makes sense. So like it can be anything. Like for some community it can be just numbers, because they are in a stage of their company where they want to grow the product growth more, and they don't really care much about they care about the revenue, but it's not from the community, it's from some other factor. sector, and the community part is maybe to generate more noise in the field, or more noise in the industry, or the community part is to create have more and more users in the company, while uh, the other teams are focusing on the revenue. At that, in that sense, yes, it would be tricky to prove more value, but you still have to decide few KPIs. So the KPI you decide becomes very important, and if you are constantly delivering it, it will make sense over the time. But everything in the end will come out to revenue. So even if you are not exactly generating revenue inside your teams, you have to somehow link that the revenue that other teams are generating are linked to your growth that is fueling their revenue. So in the end, it will turn down to revenue. So if in a longer sense, you have to make sense inside the business, you have to somehow showcase that community helps in generating revenue, or some other kind of ROI stuff. Like it can be content again from the community, it can be some social buzz, it can be help in other things, it can be product feedback. Everything has its own ROI, which can come as a revenue segment inside the company. So you have to just decide that.
Indeed, that will really help the community teams to actually get more funds or investment for the product. For them, community is really important, sort of. And as we can see, sort of these days, what I do feel is like there are a lot of things going on in the market with AI. A lot of models these days are coming. People are generating code, technical content out of it. And what I've seen as I talked with a lot of community leaders and DevRel professionals, that uh, AI is affecting the way developers used to build products, right? Developers used to code back then, and now it's like, sir, they are, of course, they're not dependent, but they're resisting. The mode has changed for the developers, and similarly, the way DevRels used to work in the past and the requirements for the DevRels and community professionals also changed a bit. So, what do you think? Like, how it affected the role, and how the people who want to be in the role can sustain well enough to secure their future? What do you think? How they can leverage AI instead of getting replaced by it to boost their
Yeah.
productivity?
So this is a nice question. I think you just have to treat AI as a tool, one of the tools of your thing. I won't be very skeptical about AI, but I won't be either very pumped about AI that AI will do everything for you and you will be replaced. I don't think that's anytime near possible, at least for DevRel and community people. I think it just help us to prove more value, because I think when this whole AI boom is happening, in person and the real connection thing is becoming less and less and less, while
Yes.
our roles are becoming more and more important, because more and more people inside all over the globe now understands that yes, we need really human connection, even when we can do things from AI, to meet people in real life, or to meet people in communities, or to organize something for them. So, for example, I'll just give you one example. Anthropic recently shared a role of one of the community and DevRel role that is about events, organizing events and doing some events, and they pay $450,000 every year for it. That's a base pay, and everything is above it. So you can see like the trend is going more and more for us. But like for example, I use AI a lot and I love it. I don't use it for anything, but I use it for a few things. For example, I use AI to do my redundant tasks. Like whenever I used to publish a blog on Crawley, I used to write the whole PR by myself. I just now talk with AI and generate that PR and publish the blog very directly. I do not write blog fully by AI. I use AI to in order to make sure that things are getting better. For example, this AI writing program, we are encouraging AI writing by giving them the right tools in order to write through AI, but they need to have their own personal experiences out of it. Their content needs to make sense. Their content needs to be something valuable for the rest of the community, and it needs to be really technical, and it needs to be right. So if all of the ticks are things, we don't mind AI writing. We just think this is one of the tools that makes things even faster when you are using it. So just use it smartly. I personally used AI in order to review all of the application that is incoming, and I use AI in order to even write like emails to people or write things to people when inviting them for something. I use AI a lot in order to brainstorm things. So after we as humans have limited experience in everything. Like we don't have huge experience of everything, but when you have some AI trained model on everything, you can just talk with them in order to brainstorm things. All of the talks that I have ever given, nothing is written by AI so far, but I have used AI so much in order to prepare for things, in order to brainstorm things, in order to go beyond where my mind can stop sometimes, and in order to make things a little better than the current version. And I think AI as a tool is amazing, and it helps me a lot in my daily life. But I don't rely on AI. I don't just copy paste, or I don't just use it as something that I'm completely dependent on. But it definitely does make life easier for me, and that's how I see this whole AI thing.
Indeed, like utilizing it as a catalyst to boost our own productivity. And as you said, that Anthropic recent role, I also saw that one. That was like insane amount that they are giving, and a lot of like buzz created that why a company, AI specific company, giving so much out to community professionals, because maybe they also know the value of human connection, human touch, and the culture a person can bring. So, sort of, you in the starting of the podcast mentioned that creating ROI is really important if anyone wants to get into this role, like build things, showcase product, make technical content, demo videos. But what I feel, a lot of people are doing things, but they're not able to showcase what they've done in the past and what ROI or what impact that have been created. So this, let's cover this last question before we move out to the fun rapid fire thing. Right, I prepared this specifically for the end part. It would be going to be really fun. So like mentioning how they can show their impact and the work that they've done in the past, and can get a good job for this role if they are targeting for community professional or developer relations centric role. What could be the way for them? Any tips that you want to share?
Yeah, again, like it depends on the which C you are focusing on. But for example, I can say like I can like bet anything on it that if you are organizing code events in current times in any part of the world, you can easily grab a sponsorship from any one of the companies that want to focus in that area. So if you're organizing AI meetups, a lot of AI startups really want to do things all around the world, and they will be your sponsor. They will provide some credits, and they will do this and that. And it's really easy at current times. And trust me, when I'm coming from a different side, and I know that how much we need such communities out there. So if you are focusing on community, just go and organize some good events, and you'll get some sponsorships, and you can show that in your next CV in the next interview that you did this event for this company. It brought this many signups. We had these many hackers. They created these many projects, and out of those projects, we had these many winners. So you have a clear ROI. If you're doing good enough technical writing, you can just write out to any company out there that if they are looking for writers, and these are few examples of my writing, and if they're really good, I can again bet anything. Many companies right now are struggling to find good writers, and they don't have them. I'm personally inviting you to join Abify writing program if you're a good writer, and you can write there. And I can see like if you are a good writer, you will get selected. You will get $500, and there's so many companies out there paying a lot of money to get good technical writing out of the community. So you can reach out to such companies by focusing on content. If you're an engineer, make PRs to open source project. Like maintainers are really struggling at this point because everybody is making AI PRs,
Yeah.
which creates so much noise in the repositories, and they really love people writing own code and making some PRs, making some issues that are really helpful. Use some products, be part of their community, help them genuinely. So these are the ROIs. These are the things that we look for always. And if you have some real experience, like people, like whenever there is a job, they can just this easy to by talking to recognize if the person have real experience or not. And yeah, market is tough. I have to be honest. Like market is tough. There are not many jobs right now, but like be keep doing the great things, and I think like that's how like you just have to pass this wave and you'll get something out of it at some point. It's not like there are a lot of jobs in the market, so it's gonna be tough. But I think if you are doing a great job, you will find something. So these are this is simple. Like ROI for a personal growth can be just doing great things and providing some real life real time value to the companies out there looking for help to organize something.
Wonderful. That is really great, sort of the thing that you've shared, and maybe it will help all the people out there, and as well as me, greatly and ahead. So let's move to the rapid fire round. Are you ready, Saurav?
Yeah, let's see
Yeah,
how
it'll
what it is.
it'll be like a fun part. I'll be asking questions, and you have to answer really quick. Okay, no thinking much. Okay, so I'm asking the first question: code, content, or community?
Community.
GitHub or Discord?
Yes. God.
Okay, technical blog or YouTube video?
Technical blog.
Conference or community meetup?
Oh, community meetup.
Open source or closed source?
Open source for the win.
Developer advocacy or developer experience?
Developer advocacy.
One DevRel skill that's massively underrated.
Talking with people.
Okay. One skill that's overrated.
Travel.
Okay. Your favorite developer community you've been part of.
Amplify.
You're playing really clever here. Okay. Best conference you've attended.
Icon Namibia.
One thing every community manager should stop doing.
Yeah, stop getting burnout.
One thing every DevRel professionals should start doing.
Interesting. What they should start doing. Helping each other out more.
Beautiful. One thing every this is covered. Biggest misconception about DevRel.
We travel a lot and we do nothing else than
Oh
traveling.
my God. Yes, it's real. It's a biggest misconception. The hardest part of working with developers.
They complain a lot.
Yes, the best part of working with developers.
They complain a lot.
Okay. Okay. Most memorable community interaction you've had.
Once a Nigerian developer, when I was in Nigeria, I was stuck in Nigeria and I didn't know that so it's a long story. Can I answer it a longer way?
Yeah, sure. Let this be the end and we can close it and let's answer this. Super.
So this is a long story. I was supposed to go to Nigeria for PyCon Nigeria, and Nigeria is like little tricky to visit about many things. And there is a developer in Apify community. He's from Nigeria. So 3 months before, I just casually mentioned him that I'm going to Nigeria. I'm coming to Nigeria, and I will come to Nigeria in October. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm so happy you're coming and everything." And then I forgot about it, and I didn't mention it again. He lives in a different part of Nigeria, and from there to come to Lagos, where I was going, it takes 3 days to just come,
Oh,
and then to go back, it again takes 3 days to go back. So, and I was there for 4 days. So eventually, like I reached there, and I started having different kind of issues that I didn't expect at all. I cannot get my money exchanged. My any of my card is not working, and now I'm stuck. In desperation, I call that guy and say to him, Caleb, can you just come here very quickly and I will pay for all of your flights and accommodation. Just come here and save me. He says to me, Sorry, what you are saying? I'm already here for you. And I didn't pay for his flight. I didn't pay anything. And he saved me from everything that was upcoming for me. He was there with me 24 hours. He didn't let me pay a penny in the whole trip. He helped me from scratch to everything. So
wow.
like imagine like you just build out a community, you don't know about any animal, and like these are real humans around the world who really appreciate what you are doing, and they just travel three he just traveled 3 days for me without even mentioning it to me that he is coming, and he was there to help me by default, and it brought tears in my eyes when I saw him there. And on the top of it, we went to conference together, and he video called his wife and we talked, and his wife said to me, Saurabh, really thank you for helping him in the whole journey. Because of you, and he showed me their baby, a small baby with him, with her, and she said like, thank you so much, you are bringing bread to our table and we are eating food because of you. And I couldn't hold myself, like I hugged him and I was all like teary. But it's like one of the best moments out of it, and I can really not imagine any other job in the world making such impact that we can make actually. So it's just really really touching story to me, and that really keeps me doing things that I.
Beautiful. I just don't have any words, Saurabh. It's so beautiful. So beautiful to know. That like made me emotional.
Yeah,
That's beautiful to know, Saurav. It's and thanks to Caleb for helping you and wishing all the best to their baby. May
yeah.
like really amazing. Community space is really amazing. We can create a lot of impact. Indeed, we
We are
can have
going
a
to
lot.
Nigeria again, and
Wow.
this time he like for 10 days, and we are doing more hackathon there with like Amplify is trying to. We are trying to as a team that we support more and more women communities all around the world. So we are doing sponsoring She Codes Africa Summit next month, and we are also organizing a women-only hackathon in Nigeria. So he's joining us. He again offered his help, and this time he will be staying with us for 10 days, and he'll be helping us out for everything around.
Beautiful. That's really amazing to know, Saurabh. Thank you so much for all the time, all the insights, and it's really amazing to host you. Thanks for um, sparing your valuable time and for coming. Thank you so much, Saurabh.